Technological Predictive Analysis of Pi Network. The Bifurcation of Value Dual Value. How ISO 20020 to metadata defines the two economies of Pi Network. What are the implications if the ISO 20022 integrated Pi blockchain cannot authenticate the source of funds? What enables complete traceability of mainnet migration agreement violators within the ISO 20022 integrated Pi blockchain? From purity to peg, the new syntax of money. Metadata as the moral DNA of finance, the rise of transparent capital flows. How Pi Network outgrows legacy currencies. This article includes technological predictive analysis and may differ from actual outcomes. The technical core, ISO 20022 as a meta-identity protocol. Pi Network's integration of ISO 20022 is not a superficial compliance act, but a fundamental architectural reform. Every transaction now carries metadata that describes its origin, purpose, and regulatory attributes, effectively turning money into data with meaning. Key elements like per-try source type, per-try, TXORGTRID greater than, and regulatory greater than define whether a given Pi token was created through verified contribution or obtained through exchange. This means that the Pi ledger does more than record ownership. It encodes the moral genealogy of value. In other words, the blockchain knows not only who owns what, but also how that ownership came to be. Dual monetary system, pure Pi and impure Pi. Within this ISO metadata architecture, two monetary species naturally emerge. Pure Pi refers to coins generated directly through contribution, node validation, or ecosystem rewards. Their metadata marks them as mining or contribution origin, verified by trust circle signatures. They are not tied to any fiat currency, but are anchored to Pi's internal grand constant value, the Pi GCV, approximately 314,159 USD per Pi. Pure Pi thus represents the intrinsic, creation-based side of the Pi economy, the unit of genuine labor and participation. Impure Pi, by contrast, designates all coins entering the network via external or non-contributory routes, exchange purchases, transfers, or speculative acquisitions. Their metadata identifies them as exchange or transfer type, carrying a regulatory tag that ties them to a USD reference. Each impure Pi is locked to the dollar value at which it was acquired, for instance, 25 cents, and becomes part of the PiUSD subsystem, pegged 1-to-1 to USD. These tokens serve as the circulating liquidity of the ecosystem, convenient, transparent, but derivative in origin. Hence, where pure Pi is the backbone of creation and trust, impure Pi is the bloodstream of exchange and commerce. They coexist but play fundamentally different economic and ethical roles. Revaluation mechanism, accounting over speculation. When PiUSD eventually stabilizes at full parity with USD, the system will undergo a controlled revaluation rather than a speculative surge. First, every token's metadata is validated to confirm its source. Next, all impure Pi are locked to their original purchase value. Then, parity alignment adjusts these values to the USD benchmark without altering total supply. Finally, the blockchain rebalances nominal figures to ensure audit-level consistency. Through this process, the Pi economy maintains both fairness and monetary integrity. Pure Pi remains immutable, reflecting the constant of human contribution, while impure Pi evolves only within the regulatory frame of dollar parity. Strategic implications, AI-auditable transparency. Embedding ISO metadata into every transaction allows automatic compliance checks. AI-driven auditing systems can instantly distinguish between contribution-based inflows and speculative inflows. This enables real-time anti-money laundering detection, fair taxation by income source, transparent DAO reward distribution, and automated cross-checking of financial reports. In essence, money becomes self-aware, a self-describing and self-verifying entity that requires no external validation to prove its honesty. Such design turns Pi Network into the first ethical ledger in financial history. A blockchain that not only prevents corruption, but renders it algorithmically impossible. Predictive scenario after the 22nd of November. As legacy Swift mount messages are phased out and global finance transitions to ISO 20022, a massive interoperability vacuum will appear. Traditional banks and crypto exchanges, many of which lack ISO-ready architecture, will need a bridge capable of translating old data structures into the new financial language. Pi Network's blockchain, already natively compliant, and its Nexus autonomous banking infrastructure fill precisely that gap. At that moment, Pure Pi will operate as the trust reserve, the incorruptible capital of verified creation, while Impure Pi PiUSD will function as the transactional medium of everyday trade. Together, they will form a self-balancing ecosystem capable of absorbing global liquidity shocks while maintaining ethical transparency. Conclusion: the ethics of value in code. All Pi are not equal. Some embody human contribution. Others represent circulation through ISO 20020 to metadata. That difference becomes visible, traceable, and indelible. This architecture marks the end of anonymous capital flows and the beginning of transparent value creation. By separating the money of creation from the money of transaction, Pi Network ushers in a new civilizational era of digital finance, one where the code itself remembers how each coin was earned and why it deserves to exist. In summary, ISO 20022 integration in Pi Network does not merely modernize payments. It moralizes them. The division into Pure Pi and Impure Pi is not a hierarchy of wealth, but a taxonomy of truth. And that is why the future of money, transparent, compliant, and ethical, already speaks the language of Pi.